Hey, this is episode 99. If you're new to the Tony and Josh show, well, you're just a bit late to the party.
We're down to the last couple episodes before the Tony and Josh show hangs up the mic.
We've spent nearly 100 episodes. One how though? 100 episodes.
People,
yes.
Seriously.
Trying our hardest to inform and entertain you and hopefully give you a laugh or two.
We have delved deep into the annals of the interwebs week after week to bring you guys stories that have tested your moral boundaries and have made you question your faith in humanity. So tonight, Tony and I are going to give you something a little different. We're going to go off script, drop the show notes, and just kind of shoot the shit. We're going to go long form, free ball it. We're going commando. Woohoo!
But first, before Josh stands up and starts doing the helicopter, we want to thank you all for being loyal listeners over the years. We couldn't have made it to 100 without you.
We still haven't, Tony. It's only episode 99. We still have one left.
Tomato.
What that means, people, is we need you one last time. Drop us a line and say your goodbyes or give us your best insult. Either way, we'd love to hear from you one last time.
Send those tear-soaked emails to info@tonyandjoshshow.com or it is tonyandjosh.com.
That'll work. Well, guys, a little bit different of a format tonight or this show. We're going to go over a few things and kind of, well, at least address the elephant in the room, as it were. We've talked over the last couple episodes about what is happening with the future of the Tony and Josh show. And, well, the future is glim and bleak because there really isn't one. We figured 100 episodes is good enough mark to go out on, as it were. Nice round number. And so that's what we're going to call it. 100 episodes. 100th episode will be our last. So we got one more after this, guys, and then we are going to hang up the microphones. Well, at least for this show.
Right. And it doesn't keep us from doing anything in the future. The interesting thing I've always found, and I guess from a consumer standpoint, I never really did care for, was like a TV show would be on, and, it's really good, you really enjoy it, and then all of a sudden you find out it's canceled. And, or you're watching a show and then you see stuff on the news about how the numbers aren't that good, and it may get canceled next year. And then you're worried about, is my show that I really enjoy going to come on next year? And when you're a kid, well, I guess actually when you're a kid and there was no internet like it was for me, those things were very important because that was your entertainment dollar. I mean,
what the hell happened to my G.I. Joe? Every day after school, I come in here and what? No.
But so it always bugged me that, how can they just take these shows off? I mean, you got these people that are working, that they are putting their time and effort in. And that was the beauty thing about podcasting is that you don't have to have anybody saying anything about your show. You do the show the best way you see fit. And if you got 2 listeners, keep going. You don't have to stop. 2
more listeners than the last guy or the next guy.
Yeah. We're taking those two listeners away from somebody else. But, and Josh and I both know, especially from doing our other podcast for over 200 episodes, that any podcast takes some time. You have to put some time into it because we don't have the multi-billion-dollar or at least multi-million-dollar ad campaigns that TV stations and even radio stations have. So I was looking at the numbers, I guess around 80 or so, 85 or so. And I usually mention to Josh, especially when the numbers are good, I keep him up to date with what the download numbers are. And I'm just looking at this going, this thing is not increasing in listenership. And there's a good reason for that. I mean, I don't take it as a dig from me personally, and I'm sure you don't either, Josh. It just happens to not fit the mold of what people are looking for in podcasting, or the people that really would like it don't know about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've always encouraged you guys to spread the word and let other people know just how offended you are by us. I'm sure that might be some of it as well. We know that we're not exactly the right flavor for everybody out there, and we do have an explicit rating because of the kinds of content and stories that we've brought to you over the years. And we know that it's, like Tony said, not for everybody, but we've given it our best shot. And for those of our loyal listeners out there who come to us each and every week, download our show and interact with us and everything, we couldn't be more grateful for your guys' support over the years. And although this is going to be a sad day when this show does come to an end, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
to do this show. And I want you guys to know that that despite this show going away, that Tony and I still are going to have our chemistry with our other podcast. And although you're not going to hear the kind of subject matter that you've heard on the Tony and Josh show on our other on our other podcast, the Jeep Talk show, you guys can still interact with us and reach us and all that. And that's why we've encouraged you guys to give us one last little farewell email, drop us a line and let us know what we have done to you or for you or with you over the years while you guys have listened to us. Well, we've got just this episode and one more. Now, obviously, we've started this one off a little bit different, and what you guys can expect from this episode and from our last episode is, well, something different than what you're used to. Now, we're going to freeform it a little bit. We got a couple things we're going to talk about, but obviously, we're going to talk about what is going to happen with this episode and our last episode, and then things moving forward from there. 100 will be our last episode indefinitely. And we do have some other stuff going on. Obviously, the Jeep Talk show is going to be taking center stage. And some of you out there who have followed us over the years with our Walking Dead, that will most likely be going away as well. There is a lot of stuff happening with the Walking Dead, and Tony and I are still going to be Walking Dead fans. That's definitely not going to go away anytime soon as well, especially with AMC picking up another season. That's right. A seventh season has been confirmed for that. So,
I think they signed up for 100.
Yeah, probably.
So, which would take us into a full 2 weeks from the initial outbreak.
Yeah, exactly.
They have been speeding it up a little bit, but come on.
So I'm sure there will be some Walking Dead talk throughout the interwebs. There's certainly a lot out there that you guys can get your fix on. And of course, our show archive will be up for as long as we can keep it up for you guys to download and get one last fix from our offerings, as it were.
You know, Josh, I'm a little disappointed. I was really hoping. I hadn't seen 15 billion advertisements for Into the Badlands, and I thought maybe they canceled that bastardized piece of shit.
I was hoping.
And I went over to Internet Movie Database, and I think it's got like a 8.1 rating or something.
Yeah, no, 8.1, 8.2. The Nielsen rating. I mean, damn it. The show, despite our laments, we're actually got some decent ratings.
Damn it to hell! I hate being wrong, but I'm not going to hate it so much that I actually watch that show. I just. That actor just pisses me off. You know, I was flipping around over the weekend and I saw that the most recent incarnation of Alice in the Wonderland movie was on, and I didn't want to watch the whole thing, but some of the stuff is fun to watch. The CGI, the animation that they do in there, and I actually caught the movie near the beginning, and that same guy that's into the Badlands plays Alice's dad. And I thought, oh, holy hell.
Just clamoring for the remote. Turn the channel.
I just don't like that guy. You know, I'm sure he's a fine actor. I'm sure he's a fine person.
There's actors that have bugged me over the years, too, whether it be from a role they played or a vocal inflection or tone or the way their eyes bug out of their skull.
Yeah.
So, it can be the littlest thing.
Just so smug.
Just enough to be like, no, I'm not gonna watch anything that you put out.
You're not gonna get me. Oh, I'm not gonna love you, but I'm giving too much
work here anymore.
Wait, am I talking out loud again? I'm sorry. Put the stapler down. That won't help you. Yeah, anyway, so I mean, that's good. There's people that work on that show. I was just talking about shows being canceled and stuff, but I was
one thing I did read about The Walking Dead, and it was one thing that Tony, you and I really bitched a lot about, was the fact that even though we weren't huge fans of The Talking Dead,
right.
But we both found it odd that the show that recaps the show that was just on is after a show after the show that you just watched.
Yes.
And it's like, really? That's your programming stroke of genius right there? Sounds more like a programming stroke, but
God, well, you can see the look on Chris's face. He was pissed off about it too.
Well, I guess coming into the new season, and I think they might keep things the same for.
Oh no! I remember he said that when we come back in February with The Walking Dead, we will be on right after.
Okay. So I know that at least for the next season, season 7, that they're going to be. It was insisted that Walking Dead or Talking Dead follow Walking Dead, and
I think they should embed it into the show. Just make it, everybody on the cast.
Get rid of the commercials.
Everybody on the cast just stops and turns at a television prominently placed, and then they,
breaking like the fourth wall,
green screen it or something, and just put The Walking Dead, and they're all watching The Walking Dead, so you have no other choice but to watch along with the cast.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to be watching that. We're not going to be talking about it, but we may, if something really epic happens and it's boiling, we're bleeding out of our eye sockets and our fingers can't type it fast enough. We may throw something out into the interwebs and
interuterus. I like the direction you were going initially. Interuterus.
Well, yeah. Speaking of that, we got something in that sort of realm as well here in a little bit. There's something though that is deep ingrained into the roots of the Tony and Josh show. Back clear in our first few episodes, there was a very deep political vein through the format of this show. And Tony's a big political pundit, as it were. He likes the politics and likes to follow them and stuff. I kind of keep my finger on the pulse, but not as much of a fan. But that being said, I've tried to steer our little pirate ship here in a different direction as often and as much as possible to avoid political talk. But Tony, we are just 306 days away until the presidential election at the time of this recording. You got any early predictions?
I really don't. I don't think that the liar, murderer, Clinton, and murderer can you still be murderer by omission? I think you could do like lying by omission, but I think because of the Benghazi thing.
A little birdie told me there's going to be an indictment in regards to that in the next 30 to 60 days.
I don't know. It was I was talking to Clyde the other day, our friend in Canada.
Oh yes,
and I was the conversation quite often goes political, which I don't know if I know you've spoken to Clyde.
How does he keep up
on
with
Skype? Well,
it's like, wait, you're in Canada and you're keeping up with U.S. politics?
Yeah.
How much time do you have on your hands exactly?
He's a big U.S. fan, and but anyway, I was telling him the other day. I said, well, Bill Clinton was impeached. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he was. And I thought, well, maybe I'm wrong. It's been a while. I went and looked it up. I knew that he had lost his license to at least practice law in Arkansas. Big deal. He's president. Big deal. Is he going to practice law once he's left the Oval Office? No. But it's kind of a dig to lying to the American people, and that's the way it should be. But went and looked it up, and yeah, he was impeached. And I said, well, yeah, he was impeached. And he says, well, but he continued to be president. I said, yeah, the rat bastard didn't resign. I mean, when Nixon was impeached, he resigned. He left office.
Right.
It's just, I guess you can't get these people out of office unless you got a crowbar.
Not
and
anymore.
You can't use it as prying. You can't pry people out. But anyway, I don't know exactly why. I guess maybe there was going to be an indictment for Nixon. Maybe that's the reason why he left, and he set up the deal with Jerry Ford to get pardoned. So I guess maybe that's the reason why. But I guess it's good in a way when these presidents do things and they aren't forced to leave office. But it's what keeps them from doing the wrong thing.
Well, that would be morals or a conscience in most of our cases.
I'm going to reiterate my question. What keeps them from doing the wrong thing? Because we obviously have a president that lies. I mean, big lies.
I think our bureaucratic structure, our political structure is chock full of corruption and lies and the inability, or at least without having to wait until a pundit's term is over to elect them out of office. We don't have very many other avenues to hold our elected officials accountable.
Well, I mean,
you said you were going to do this, but you didn't.
Yeah, even if you can't impeach somebody.
Nothing. You have to sit there and just accept the fact that this guy lied through their teeth, or this person lied through their teeth.
Right. The thing that gets me is, I mean, they complained, the liberals complained about Bush. Bush lied, people died. Mm-hmm. Over and over and over again. And
I still see the bumper stickers out here.
And the thing that gets me is, here comes Obama. And it's not just conjecture. It's not just your best guess that he lied. It's provable.
Oh yeah. No, I mean you can go down the list, and I saw an image online not all that long ago, and it was a list of all the things that President Obama had promised that he would do, and what his track record of completing those things are, and he's like 1 out of 10.
Well, I mean, those broken promises are one thing.
I think that's a big thing, because but
lying to me is a much bigger thing. When you say,
I kind of put him in the same category.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. I'm different in that respect, that you can promise things and it may not happen. Little Billy wants a bicycle for Christmas, and you say, yep. And then everything, you lose your job and blah, blah, blah. Things happen. You promised, you couldn't fulfill it. And Billy, I'll explain to you why it happened. But we'll still do this later. We just can't do it right now. That's a promise broken. But whenever you say, Billy says, does my ass look fat in these pants? And you say, yeah, no, it looks great. That's a flat out lie. I mean, and when he stood up and said, you'll be able to keep your doctor if you want to, it was a lie. He knew it was a lie at the time. It was a lie being told to get something pushed through, and it was just a flat ass lie. I don't care if it happens every day. It was it's a lie,
because it's set a precedence and a track record of politicians who can't be trusted and who can't be held accountable, and it's set up this pathway almost for career politicians to get into the field. And basically, once you get a couple elections under your belt, you're pretty much, guaranteed a golden parachute for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and you don't have to do anything. No. It seems like you can even do the complete opposite of what you say you're going to do 90% of the time and still maintain office.
Well, I guess the biggest problem I have, I'm going to finish this thought first.
Sure.
So
I'm sorry.
The problem I'm having is that this is a liar. We have a liar that is our president. Provable. We had a liar as president when Clinton was in office. Lesser to a degree because he was lying about having a illicit affair with a much younger woman in the house that we pay for. So I'll grant you that. That's not as big a lie. But now here comes along a presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, who we already know is going to be probably a lot like her husband. I mean, they get along, at least to some degree. They've been together for many, many years, and she's been caught in many lies. I mean, she had an email server, for God's sake, for, in my opinion, the express purpose of having full control over her emails and what will be and what won't be disseminated. I mean, if an email goes out, you can always pick up that email from another server, whoever it was sent to, but it makes it a lot more difficult trying to collect all those emails than just going straight to the source. So this is a very devious person, and I don't think she's a very smart, devious person, which makes it even worse. If you're really clever, you can say, well, if she can lie to us effectively, maybe she can lie to those Ruskies. And, that wouldn't be such a bad thing, to outwit them. But I don't think she could outwit herself out of a wet paper bag. I really don't. I mean, her husband seemed to be pretty clever.
The level of ball dropping that has happened with her foreign affairs policies and the way that she's handled certain things, I mean, has really set her up to paint the picture that she is not the international leader that we need the office to be.
But didn't you know that prior? I mean,
the writing is on the wall, has been for a long time. And anybody who votes for her is not doing it out of point of intelligence. And
it's certainly, it's just I don't want the other person in there,
or it's I want to vote for a girl.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a 40%, I'm calling it. I mean, right now, 40% of the votes that she's going to get are going to be strictly because that she's a woman and nothing else.
Well, and she's not a Republican. She's not a conservative.
Well, see, I mean, then we can start, going down the whole party line sort of thing and be like, okay, well, she's going to get some just because, people are going to vote Democratic or they're going to vote Republican straight down ballot.
What is the dang deal with 80% of black people voting for Democrats? What has the Democratic Party done for black people?
That's a whole nother show.
We don't have to discuss it. I'll just throw it out there. I mean, really, what have they done? I mean, look at look at Chicago. Look at the crime rate in D.C. Gun control. Yeah, gun control has been just gangbusters for Chicago.
Yeah, but the families are still getting their government checks.
Well, that's my point. I mean, do you want to be living in a freaking zoo? And as long as the zookeepers come by and throw you the food and keep the water there for you?
Because that means that you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to be accountable for your own actions, and you don't have to work.
But you're held at a certain level, your entire life, and then the children that you have.
But if that's all you know, then that is acceptable.
I think that even when that's your life, you can look around, you can see on television, you can aspire to have wished you had done more, but you're in this trap. It seems too far away. You're too deep in this pit to be able to climb out of it and actually accomplish, do something with your life other than being a tick on the back of a dog.
Yeah.
And the dog being the federal government. It doesn't, I don't think it takes that much, other than just the decision that I'm not going to live this way anymore, or at least you make the decision that I'm not going to have my children live this way anymore. It just boggles my mind. Black people aren't stupid. So I don't know why they haven't seen that the lack of opportunity is never going to be, is never going to allow them to rise to an equal footing. People that work hard are always going to be at an advantage to those that don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of my point, is that the liberals complained about about G.W. Bush being such a liar and people died, and now we've elected one that certainly is a liar, and Hillary Clinton, the best hope of the Democratic Party, also a big liar. So is that really what you want running your government? I mean, if Hillary Clinton at least listens to the people and puts laws in place that have to do with what the people want, that would be a plus. What we have right now is somebody that lies and decides whatever the hell he wants to do. Gun control being the exact issue that I'm referring to.
I didn't know if you wanted to touch on that, this whole executive order BS that
I haven't even read it. I haven't paid attention to it. It just pisses me off.
We had this huge debate at work this morning. It's 6:30 in the morning. I haven't even had a sip of coffee yet.
Oh no, there should have been a mass killing.
Trying to talk gun control, and I'm like, you're killing me. Yeah,
was it pro? Were people for it?
Well, the problem is that nobody knows anything yet because he hasn't released any of the details, at least not in regular speak. So you got to have 3 degrees in lawyerism to understand half of what's said in these things.
Did you see his tears? He was just so emotional.
God, the whole crying bullshit. Come on, I saw that and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Is anybody really buying this?
I asked if he lost a bet to John Bonner on Twitter. I put what happened? What was the deal with the crying? Was he? Did he lose a bet to Bonner?
Emotionally invested. Oh, look at him. He's just so empathic. Oh, God, just seriously, I'll eat a bullet. Right.
I saw a political pundit, Andrea Tanteros, actually tweeted today that she has evidence that he had a freshly cut onion at the podium.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't doubt it. I was going to go a different route, and it was like some
nose hairs,
super. Yeah, well, CIA technology basically. It's artificial tear ducts, and there's a remote, and yeah.
Oh man, I would have rather had that put in his khaki pants and just embarrassed him with I'm not supposed to be crying from there.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what all these executive orders are going to mean for. I did hear somebody's breakdown.
It's going to mean a lot of lawsuits, is what it's going to mean.
Well, yeah, from what I understand is if you are a hobbyist or a collector, you are exempt. And so I don't know what that means or who can be classified. And obviously your local armory is not going to be considered a hobbyist or a collector. They're going to be a retailer or a dealer or something like that. But some of the stuff that I've read makes it seem like if you sell any gun at any time, you are considered a dealer.
Yeah.
And that, that to me, that doesn't ring true.
No, of course not. But it doesn't matter. It feels good. It's what the kids want. Yeah.
Think of the children. It's like, you look at it like, and I don't know about every state's laws. I know out here in Oregon that if you buy, if you buy and sell more than 5 vehicles in a year, you are considered a dealer, and you have to have
maybe you get a free gun or something.
So it's one of those things where I can see if you buy or sell guns on a regular basis, you might be considered. You could be considered a dealer, especially if you're doing any degree of volume. I mean, if you buy and sell just to upgrade your gun a few times a year. To me, that's just more of a hobbyist or even a collector, but not necessarily a dealer. So there's a lot of fine print that's going along with this, and I'm sure a lot of that is going to get swept under the rug, and a lot of it's going to be lost in translation.
It's going to be flat ass lied about, Josh.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's what they do. They make it sound one way and another. And I always love whenever they talk about every time they say responsible gun owners are for more background checks. Okay, so I'm not, so that means I'm not a responsible gun owner. Gotcha. Thank you very much. So yeah, in this government no-fly list, they've started calling it the government terrorist watch list, because if you're on the no-fly list, you're a terrorist, and we don't want terrorists to have guns. You don't want your children to be dead, do you? Are you one of those people? So it's twisting of words. It's a bunch of crap. None of this stuff would have kept the terrorism from occurring on our soil in California. It's just, what is this guy doing? He's got less than a year left, or a little over a year left. Just shut the fuck up.
Seriously. So just ride it out, put it in cruise control. There's nothing more that you can do.
You mean Ted Ted Cruz?
Yeah, that's another one. He's gaining some steam, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to pull out the big guns enough to make something happen to turn the tides, as it were. I
don't think anybody thought that Trump would be in it like he is. And,
right?
and Trump, I don't think Trump thinks he was going to be in the. I mean, he's got to have a backup plan.
I'm still in this thing. What do I got to do?
He's going to have a backup plan. Like, okay, this has been fun, but man, this is getting serious.
Yeah.
I already got a day job. I think Trump would be absolutely hilarious as president. And I'm
sure the entire cast of Saturday Night Live is just antsy in their pantsy for this election.
You don't lose. I mean, if Hillary Clinton, if you're a comedian, you don't lose with Hillary. Certainly don't lose the Bernie Sanders. I mean, who puts the BS in Bernie Sanders? And then any of the ones, I guess Rubio wouldn't be that interesting. I know I've made this statement before. I just think it's funny. Rubio reminds me of the kid my mom used to make me play with down the street. And I mean that in a completely platonic sense. But he just doesn't, he's not presidential. I think,
here's what I'm hearing. The most of the buzz that I'm hearing around him is he's not presidential. He's barely likable, but he's the best leader that we've seen in a long time. And as far as a business standpoint, as far as what's good for the economy, he might be what we need right now.
Really? What business has he run?
Well, the entire Trump empire.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was speaking of Rubio.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was talking about
Trump.
Trump.
Certainly.
No, yeah, you're right. Rubio is a whole nother ball of wax. I don't think we're going to see him much for another. I give him 6 weeks and he's out.
I don't see how Jeb Bush is still in it. Talk about not likable.
No idea how that man is even still on TV.
That's just amazing. He has that crazy uncle look in his eyes, especially whenever he starts getting pissed off with Trump.
Yeah,
Trump knows how to push people's buttons. It's just so funny to see. So anyway, all in all, I have no idea. I do not want Trump to get the presidency.
Well, I know you
but
don't
it would be
want
better.
But I want your prediction. Whether despite how you're going to vote, and the way it looks right now, what do you think's going to happen come November?
I think Hillary's going to be elected president.
Oh dear God, that's a nightmare. Honestly, I think that's not going to happen. I don't think that there's a possibility of that happening. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, there's obviously a possibility that's going to happen. But I think that there's too much shit that's gone through the fan in her campaign, her political career, that's going to make it so that she could be the next president.
She shouldn't be standing now.
No, she shouldn't. So I think it's going to come down. I think Trump is going to get it. Do I want Trump to get it? Not necessarily. But I think that's the way it's going to go. That's my prediction.
I think Trump may get the nomination. I don't know that he will be elected. He's so polarizing. There's people that really, really don't like him. Ben Carson, I like. He's smart. And I'll to say it, he's black, and part of me wants to see a black conservative president, because I want to hear what the liberals have to say. Whenever they don't agree with him, because they won't be able to call racism.
Yeah, right.
But I predict what they would do is they would refer to President Carson as a House black person. I'll clean it up because I've heard liberals refer to like Condoleezza Rice as being somebody that it doesn't go along with the 80% liberal black movement type thing. So she's referred to as a House black person, because she's not smart enough to think on her own. She's not smart enough to have come up with the idea that liberalism isn't what we need in this country. Conservatism is. And I think it's a no-brainer, Josh. We need to spend less. We need a lot less government, federal government. Let local and state handle things the way they see fit, closer to where the people are. And we need to be giving a lot less money to the government unless it's for research and development, especially in space, and for our military. And damn it, if you want to pay somebody $15 an hour, pay it to a soldier.
God, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, along with a room and board. I mean, my God, the stuff that these people do for us in our name, and pay them $15 an hour. I can't even believe that soldiers don't make $15 an hour.
I know. It boggles my mind how that. Yeah. I mean, well, we give them boots and a cot. Isn't that good enough? No, I'm with you there on all that, Tony. I couldn't agree more. And this upcoming year, a lot of economic changes in the forecast is not appealing. It's just it's going to be an interesting year nonetheless. So who knows? Maybe after December of 2016, the dust settles a little bit. Maybe we'll come back and give you guys a WTF recap.
I'm still predicting that some hackers, low-level hackers, kitty hackers, will be releasing 60,000 emails from the Hillary Clinton server.
Oh, jeez.
Right before Election Day, in which she has posted nude pictures and sent them to Justin Bieber.
Sorry, I think I just threw up a little more.
See, that's the problem with living around with 42 cats. You get a fur ball like that.
Yeah, hairball.
So, speaking of fur balls, did you want to do this last story?
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be a Tony and Josh show if we didn't have something out of left field for you guys. How about this? How about a vaginal baby speaker?
Sounds good.
No, this isn't. This could really turn wrong really quickly. I'm going to have to explain this for you guys. Yeah, really quickly. This will kind of explain it all. It's made in Spain.
Of course.
You go. It's about the size of a walnut. Has an extra long cord just in case the thing gets lost up in there. Comes with an extra set of headphones for simultaneous monitoring of your intravaginal music.
Dun, dun,
the best comment on the article that I read about this device is from an administrative assistant at the Greene County Medical Center. Quote, wow, this is just wow. And to every pregnant woman falling for or using this, I am so going to mock and judge you. So basically what this thing is called, it's called like the pod baby or baby pod or something like that. And this is basically a speaker inside of a silicone walnut with a headphone cord coming out of it. And yes, you plug this thing into your MP3 playing device or what have you. And you play music intravaginally for your baby.
Can I ask the obvious female question?
Please. Please.
So, I think the obvious female question here would be, what kind of bass response do you get from this speaker?
Exactly. Oh man, like that scene from the Howard Stern movie, and it's just sit on the speaker and
Now here's the sounds of a washing machine on spin cycle.
Yeah, seriously, there are sometimes items that come out, and typically they come out of Japan. Like the boyfriend pillow, or some of those. Anyways, just go back and listen to some previous episodes. I expected this thing to be not real. I expected this to be a spoof or something that maybe an early April Fool's release or something like that. No, this thing is real. It's not a Kickstarter thing. This is full on retail available, and you can buy these now. And the science behind this allegedly is that a baby cannot hear the sounds that well coming from through the abdominal wall. Because of the position that the baby is in through the first, section of the first few trimesters, and that all this science has indicated that a baby best responds to audible stimulation if the audible source is as close to the baby's skull as possible. Yeah.
So maybe I misunderstood. How far do you have to shove this thing in there?
Well, it comes with a plunger stick applicator, and. I'm kidding. I don't know that this thing has to go in very far. They call it intravaginal music player. So I imagine it just kind of goes just right there in the front. Obviously, you're not shoving this thing up into the cervix.
I was going to say, what a load of crap. I mean, there's less skin.
No, into the vagina,
baby.
not the ass.
I mean, well, it would have to come with some wet naps if that was
one and shove, I guess.
But we're not here to judge, Josh.
So no, judge free zone.
Where
can't
you can
judge. Impossible to
you
judge.
place it where you like.
So I can't imagine that the
or buy one for a friend.
The response of this thing is going to be very well.
Well, the bass response is going to be very important. Just can't imagine. And how do you clean this thing once we did a thing on a girl with a gun wedged up there, loaded gun wedged up there.
We even did an article, did a story one time about a doctor at a college, or a student at a college, was trying to make yogurt out of her vaginal yeast.
That's right.
God, you girls are some sick, twisted freaks.
And thank you. It gives us really something fun to make fun of. But I don't know. You clean this thing and, honey, what's this? And besides that, why would anybody make something the size of a shape of a walnut going up in there? Shouldn't it have been a shape of a hot dog or something? I mean, would that make more sense?
I don't know exactly what the design principles. I would have loved to have seen some of the first design concepts of this. Well, that's a little phallic, Bob. I'm afraid we can't put that on the shelf.
Nobody's going to buy that. I mean, not for the right purpose.
Right. Yeah, this is supposed to be a medical device, not an extramarital device. No, you're going the wrong way.
So let's make it look like it'd be really funny if they ever actually made it look like a walnut. That would be
it's really not that far away. I mean, without the central ridge and some veins, boy, this is getting descriptive. Yeah, you guys can just go ahead and look for yourself. Baby pod is what you want to look for, and it's pink. There you go. It's pink.
Gee, I don't know where you find this stuff, Josh. You need to focus more at work, I think.
Surprised I still have a job.
Oh, well.
No, this is guys. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun delving deep into the annals of the interwebs. Some of the sickest corners I go to find some of this stuff, and sometimes I don't have to look at all that deep or that hard or that far.
Just amazing, some of the stuff, and I can't help but think that there's some of this stuff is just made up. I mean, not by you, but I mean just people making stuff up on the internet, seeing if they can.
No, that can't be true. I read somewhere on the internet that everything you read on the internet.
Al Gore certifies everything that is said on the internet. Yes, exactly. Well, so anyway, I guess we should wrap this thing up. We could go on endlessly for hours and hours, and it'd be pretty funny if we had an equivalent amount of audio time in episode 99 and 100 that equaled the preceding 98 shows.
Yeah, right. It would go on 72 hours straight.
It would be like 200 episodes. But
for the next 8 hours, Tony and I are going to sleep. You guys can listen along as we snore.
And now, the 100th playing of Christmas Cheer. You guys don't get that joke. Anyway, so I think we'll just wrap this up. This is our next to last episode. Thanks for sticking in with us through 99. Or if you're just getting here, yeah, so sorry. You got other things to listen to. You can go back, all the way down to 1. So,
and for all of our fans out there and veteran listeners, once again, thank you guys very much for being a part of this for so long. And if you'd like to say your farewells and goodbyes, info@tonyandjosh.com. Send those emails right away. And if we get them in the next week, we just might read them on our last episode. Otherwise, they are going to go into the recycler.
Yeah. Today is January the 6th, 2016. So next Wednesday will be our
13th. Ooh, Wednesday the 13th.
Will be, well, at least it's
unlucky
Wednesday.
13. Are we sure we might have to skip a week? That's like the 13th floor or something. I don't know.
So there is no 13th floor. Oh, did you hear about those students, those college students that made a device that was going to keep them from smacking the ground? And they calculated the bungee cord or whatever it was going to keep them from hitting the ground. They jumped off the building and smacked the ground because they did not actually count the floors. The building did not have a floor 13. So instead of it being 27 floors, it was actually 26 floors.
Whatever happened to measure twice, cut once? I don't know.
I think cut 1 is what you do in college. But anyway, we got one more episode. So next week on the 13th will be our final episode. So if you're listening to this podcast, hopefully before the 13th, you'll be able to get those messages in at info@tonyandjosh.com. If not, they won't be read on the air, but Josh and I'll still read them.
Yep, and you guys can reach me after the fact over at thevoiceofjosh.com. That's thevoiceofjosh.com. It's where all my voiceover stuff can be found. Some snippets from the Tony and Josh show, as well as the Jeep Talk show and the XJ Talk show as well. Got some work up there for you guys to check out. And if you'd like to contact me for promos for your own podcast or maybe for your commercial or business, by all means, reach out to me through thevoiceofjosh.com.
Can I make a suggestion, Josh?
Please.
Anytime that you're talking about the voice of Josh, you need to put one hand on one side of your headphones and go, you can reach me at Voice of Josh. It can
be found at thevoiceofjosh.com.
You always need to break into that commercial. The voice. You need to do the voice.
Thank you for listening.
Exactly. It would be hilarious. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next week for one last time.